Thanks for attending. We have some people live here in the room. Thanks for joining us live. We have a bunch of participants that are joining us virtually too. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. My name is Emily Fox. I'm the virtual learning recruiter at HACC, Central Pennsylvania's Community College. And today's event is very unique because we do have people here in the room here on the Harrisburg campus, and we do have some other campuses as well. We have campuses in Gettysburg, Lancaster, Lebanon, and York, and then Harrisburg as well, and online. So glad you can join us from wherever you are. Just so you know, the presenters and those present in the room here are the only ones who do have audio microphone access. So if you're attending online and if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat box there on the right-hand side. Just to make sure you can hear me, I'd love for you to type into the chat box where you're from today. All of us in the room are from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So go ahead and type in the room there where you're from. Looks like Hanover, Lancaster, Fayetteville, York, Lebanon, so all throughout the central Pennsylvania area it looks like here. And we even have some other people here on the Harrisburg campus, but they're just attending virtually. So I'm glad you can be attending from wherever you are, whether it's here or virtually. Today's event will really be focusing on the field of gerontology, which is a growing program here at HACC. And according to the World Health Organization, the number of people aged 80 or more will have almost quadrupled between the years of 2000 and 2050 to 395 million people. So there's clearly a high demand for the gerontology field, and you'll hear more about that shortly, but I'm glad you can join us. Again, my name's Emily Fox. You'll see my picture there on the Adobe room. I'm the one that's on the bottom left-hand corner under the chat box. And I'm thrilled to have three individuals joining me in the presenter seat today as well. We have Kathy Sicker, who is the middle picture, and Anna Marie Fazzolari. They are both the co-coordinators of the gerontology program at HACC, and they're both professors. So you'll hear from them shortly. Later, you'll also hear from a HACC alumni who now works in the gerontology field. Her name is Crystal Altland. So you'll hear from her later, and you'll see her picture on the slide later on. But at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our dynamic duo, Kathy and Anna Marie.
Thank you, Emily. This is Kathy Sicker speaking for those of you who are logged online. So what is gerontology? We're going to kind of start out with some statistics about the world and the gerontology and the study of aging, and then we'll go into the program details. Gerontology is the study of aging in humans. It is different from geriatrics, which is the branch of medicine that studies diseases in the elderly. Gerontology covers social, psychosocial, and biological aspects of aging. And gerontology includes studying physical, mental, and social changes in people as they age, investigating the effects of our aging population on society, and applying this knowledge to policies and programs, whether it be at the federal, state, or local level. And gerontologists make predictions about the future elderly by studying fertility, mortality, and migration rates. Which leads us into one of the biggest reasons why we study aging is life expectancy. In 2012, we had a record high life expectancy of 78.7 years of age. And this also leads me into an important area of the field of study is the baby boomers. The baby boomers are those who are currently 51 to 69 years of age, and they were born between 1946 and 1964. Over 10,000 baby boomers reach age 65 each day. 1/4 of today's 65-year-olds will live past the age of 90. The baby boomers are highly educated and are more likely to advocate for what they believe in than previous generations. This huge age cohort has a great potential to inspire political advocacy and create institutional change. There will be an ongoing challenge to meet the needs of those 80 and over who are growing in number at a rate of 40% a decade. The oldest of the old require the most support from family and government. Already, the growth of this segment of the population has pushed for some change to institutions such as nursing homes. More change will be needed to create desirable long-term care alternatives, as well as expansion of palliative and hospice care. This graph says it all. The age projections shown with the hashed line are staggering. By 2030, 20% of our population will be over 65, as opposed to 1980, when only 11% was over the age of 65.
Associated with this increasingly aging population are trends that include escalating medical costs, an increased focus on health promotion, an increased focus on disease prevention, and an increased need for the management of chronic diseases. As we see around us that medical costs are escalating beyond affordability for many Americans, partially because of our rapidly aging population, we see the need to focus on these types of socio-demographic issues. Boomers, by their sheer size and number, have forced changes in hospital growth, medical personnel training, and the expansion of public schools and housing stock. Our aging population is changing the face of the world, its economies, sociological structures, healthcare systems, and labor force. Fortunately, HACC has kept pace with these trends by working with external partners interested in aging services and increasingly investing in its gerontology program. Currently, we offer 3 degree options to prospective students.
And we're pleased today to present you with the 3 degree options available at HACC. The first is our 17 credit diploma. It features 9 general education credits and 8 gerontology credits. And building upon that is our 30 credit certificate in gerontology. And this features 14 gerontology credits and 16 general education requirements. The 3rd degree program is our brand new Associate of Arts degree, which is a 61 credit AA degree in gerontology. This associate's degree begins this fall at HACC as a brand new program, and all courses are in the gerontology program and in our 3 degree programs are offered online through HACC's virtual campus. So all 3 of these degrees can be achieved online. This 61 credit degree features 24 of our gerontology classes, which are all of the gerontology classes at Harrisburg Area Community College, and 37 general education and other required courses. The gerontology curriculum at HACC prepares students to discuss the basic demographics of aging with emphasis on gender, race, culture, socioeconomic status, work, religion, and ethnicity. Students apply basic principles of gerontology to social and health issues, such as health behavior and health promotion. They summarize the physical, mental, social, and psychological aspects of aging. Students obtain an in-depth understanding of legal and ethical issues related to aging and end-of-life issues. They identify the changing landscape of long-term care, as well as trends and issues that impact the administration and management of long-term care settings. Students explain gender by identifying the status, roles, and experiences of aging to both men and women in society. They discuss major topics in gerontology worldwide, as well as across cultures and nations. Students identify death and dying, cultural attitudes and feelings, as well as the psychological stages of the terminally ill. And finally, students, through obtaining our degrees, are able to articulate effective communication skills and perspectives necessary to develop an empathetic relationship with an elderly person.
So you may be wondering, who takes GERT courses, as we call them, at HACC? The answer is a very diverse group. We believe that one of the strengths of the online classroom is the diversity that it's able to assemble easily, and our program has been a great illustration of that. Our students consist of those enrolled in our degree programs, as well as those who take our courses or our programs just to complement other degree programs at HACC and even at other four-year institutions. So our students are GERT majors, as well as nursing majors and students in other allied health types of programs, human services majors, business or entrepreneurial studies majors, those working in the field, those looking to make changes within the field, those looking for second careers, and even those who just want to learn more because they are becoming caregivers for aging loved ones. Here's a look at our introductory one-credit gerontology courses that most students use as the foundation for continuing studies in our programs. These one-credit courses, most of which run for 7 weeks, with the exception of GERT 104, the service learning course, are offered every fall and spring. Students can take more than one at a time in any sequence. Many students choose them to fill one-credit needs or to get to a certain financial aid status within the college, and fortunately for us, end up staying and continuing on in the program. Here again is a look at the areas of emphasis of our 3-credit gerontology courses, some of which are new offerings for the upcoming academic year. We're very excited to be welcoming highly qualified and experienced new faculty with expertise in these content areas. We see that there's a question.
So do we want to address the question now?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
It looks like we got a question from Claire, and she was wondering if the certifications are progressive, and is it possible to start with a 17-hour track and build on it? And the answer is yes. Kathy and Anna Marie, I'm not sure if you wanted to add on that at all, but the answer is yes, Claire.
That's actually, it's a great question. It's what a lot of our students end up doing. And fortunately, all 3 of the degree programs share a common core of gerontology courses, like specifically those one-credit courses that we were just looking at. So if you were to begin with them, which most of our students do, a lot of them will take anywhere between 2 and 4 even in one term. They will be the basis for any one of the 3 degrees that you would then go on to continue. And you don't really have to pick one at the start. You can just kind of try it out and see what the best fit is for you. Thank you for the question. So we're moving on now to the career outlook slide to talk about how our program graduates are prepared for entry-level positions in aging-related fields, such as human and social services, activities and recreation, allied health, long-term care and healthcare management, marketing and business, and volunteer services, in settings that include long-term care communities, religious organizations, government agencies, academic settings, and professional organizations. Graduates also could go on to further pursue academic study in bachelor programs in gerontology, social work, healthcare management, liberal arts, and business. We've recently seen an interesting statistic from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It was published in 2012 after a 10-year study showing that jobs requiring a 2-year degree are expected to experience 18th% growth rate, and jobs requiring a certificate or diploma are expected to experience a 15% growth rate, compared to 14% growth for 4-year degree and 11% growth for all jobs. And now, we would like to introduce to you a former gerontology student, Crystal Altland, to share with you her experience as a gerontology student in HACC and with her career in aging services.
Hello, my name is Crystal Altland. Just a few things about myself. I'm married for over 20 years and I have a 15-year-old daughter. I live in northern Dauphin County, so I have to come over the treacherous Peters Mountain to get down here. But just to give you a little bit about my life story and my history, I began my college education with HACC in 1989. So that's a really long time ago. I was working part-time for a durable medical equipment company owned by Pinnacle Health Systems. My original plan was to pursue a career in education. I wanted to be a school teacher. But unfortunately, as my life story went, I ended up dropping out of HACC and working full-time for Pinnacle Health, which gave me a lot of opportunities working around people and geriatrics as well. So that was truly my first exposure to the geriatric population. So approximately 10 years later, I decided I just wanted to work part-time. So I left Pinnacle Health and found employment with Diakon Lutheran Social Ministries. Diakon offers a continuum of senior lifestyle options. It includes what they call continuing care retirement communities, which is referred to as CCRCs. So that involves independent living apartments, as well as personal care and assisted living facilities, memory enhancement programs, and also short and long-term nursing and rehabilitative care. For me, I worked behind the scenes for Diakon, and I did a lot of the recruiting for therapy staff in their skilled nursing facilities. From there, I transferred to one of those skilled nursing facilities and became the coordinator of admissions and marketing. It was at that time that I really became involved with working very intimately with our seniors. And that's when the passion for me came about with working with our elderly population. So I'm sure by now you're wondering, what does this all have to do with HACC's Gerontology program? So I'm going to kind of expand on that. A few years later, I was approached by a personal care home administrator who I worked very closely with over the years. And she was getting ready to retire, and she had, asked me if I would be interested in that job as an administrator. And the time of my life, my daughter was older. I thought, you know what, this is a great opportunity. I can't pass it up. So sure, I'm ready for the challenge. Little did I know, and to expand on this HACC Gerontology program, I had no idea that I was going to become a student again at the age of 40. So in order to become an administrator in a personal care home, Department of Human Services requires an individual to have 60 college credits. So I dropped out of HACC after 1 year and went and worked full time. So I didn't have 60 college credits. So again, I was a brand new student, an older student, and decided to pursue my additional education at HACC. And for various reasons, they had the online classes, which suited my busy lifestyle. I was working full time. I had a daughter. I have a husband. All the housekeeping responsibilities. So it just suited, my lifestyle. So I went through HACC. The online classes were phenomenal. The gerontology programs, they suited my career because as I was advancing, getting into administration, and I just felt that suited the long-term care that I was working towards. Those classes, the gerontology classes, were very interesting, and there were a variety of different topics, all related to the geriatric age cohort. Social services, death and dying, law and ethics, all geared toward that geriatric age cohort. These professors here I have firsthand experience with them. They were very engaging and supportive. I was an older student, so it was hard for me to get adjusted to the virtual classes. But I must say, they were both very accessible during the classes and supportive for this online education that's being offered. They provided guidance and direction, very helpful and very interactive throughout the entire semesters. So I am so appreciative to have them on board with this program. So you're wondering why study gerontology? Studies show that people are living longer. We have advanced medical technology, improved pharmaceuticals, and of course, healthier lifestyles. Another factor, I think, Kathy, you mentioned it about the baby boomer generation. That was a massive increase in our population during that time frame. And from what I've discovered is people over the age of 65 will be doubling in the years to come. And working as an administrator in a personal care home, there are just not enough people pursuing careers in gerontology. We need physicians, we need nurses, we need social workers, we need therapists. The opportunities are so huge, and they're always going to be there. What I found to be fulfilling, and why I choose to work with our elderly population, their life stories are so interesting, and there is just so much that they offer and share. And there's so much to learn from them. It's also about building, for me, relationships with these people, because they are at the last stages, the last seasons of their lives, so they're looking for friendship and they're looking for joy, because many of them at this stage, they yearn for that. And it basically boils down to giving them a better quality of life, so there's so much future and beyond in this career in gerontology, and all those careers and opportunities. There's so many facets that can be incorporated in gerontology. So ultimately, my experience with HACC, being an older student, taking some of these gerontology programs, are bar none. This is where our future students, our young students, need to start pursuing, because who is going to take care of these people? The age of 65, they're going to be doubling in years to come. And we need more people out there, to meet those needs and provide the services and care, So thank you for having me, giving me my little testimony. But these professors were amazing. And they're wonderful. They know what they're doing, and they guided us through every step of the way through the virtual classes. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal.
Yes, thank you for sharing, Crystal. Your experience and your insight, it really is invaluable, not only to future students, but even to people that are working here at HACC and everyone who's listening to this webinar. So thank you for sharing. So before I jump into the rest of our presentation here, it looks like we did have a few questions that came in. Jay, it looked like you were curious to find some sequences for the gerontology program, and then I saw that you did respond there later that you did see the sequence for the associate, but you were wondering if there's a sequence recommendation for the certificate program. I'm going to pass that along to Kathy and Anna Marie if they know. I know much of that information is found on the course catalog online, so it looks like you found some of it, but do you have some insight as far as more to
the associate's degree does have a sequence, and that is, I believe, in the course catalog online. That's probably where you found it. The certificate, we have not created a sequence of courses. Technically, you could take 15 credits one semester and 15 credits another semester, but that's a lot. Or you could take a smaller amount. The like we said before, the 1 credits can be taken at any time in any sequence, and they're offered every fall and spring. Now, some of the other 3 credit classes, like Gerontology 200, is typically offered in the fall, and 201 is typically offered in the spring. And the same with Gerontology Death and Dying is typically offered in the spring. But as enrollment increases and as this degree becomes more popular, we hope to offer the 3 credits every fall and every spring. But right now, so you would have to kind of balance that out with the 3 credit courses. The 1 credits would be easy any fall or spring. And the English, physical education, psychology, sociology, and the general educations, they probably can be found every fall and spring. So for the certificate, you could probably create your own course sequence.
Just another little tidbit that students are always happy to know. We use 1 textbook for all the 100 level courses, or the 100 through the 104. So if you end up taking all of those courses, which most of the students who continue on with us do, well, all of them who want to complete a degree do, you end up covering that entire textbook and being able to utilize that entire textbook for those courses.
Thank you for answering that and going further into that. Jay, or anybody else who is interested in that question, we will have our contact information listed at the end of this presentation, so you're welcome to reach out to any one of us if you do need some clarification or further guidance with that. Looks like there was another question from Claire, and she was wondering if the online program is self-led or if it's necessary to log in at a specific time of day for a lecture. And I understand you would be a new student, so that's an important question to you. And the way that online classes work here at HACC is we follow a semester, so we have 4 different semesters, and there's many different class lengths within the semester, but you're given a syllabus and you have the professor as guidance with you. As long as you are meeting the deadlines and assignments, everything would be written out there on the syllabus, but very rarely is it that a student needs to log in at a specific time. We have students that are in different time zones. Last semester we had a student that was in Egypt, so very, very different time zone, and even individuals are on different schedules as far as work or whatever they are balancing in their life. So that's one of the great things about online learning, and that there is some flexibility with that as long as you're following along with the syllabus and meeting deadlines.
And I can add to that, for the 100 classes, they are 7-week courses. The 100 and the 101 are offered at the first 7 weeks of each semester, and the 102 and the 103 are offered at the second 7 weeks. So technically, you can take all 4 of those 1 credits, and the 104 runs the entire semester, because that is a service learning class where you volunteer for 20 hours in a healthcare institution or setting with an elderly person, and then you're required to complete the online requirements as well as volunteering. So once again, the 100 and 101 run the first 7 weeks, the 102 and the 103 run the second 7 weeks, and the 104 run the entire 14 weeks. And the 3 credits run the entire 14 weeks as well. And typically with the gerontology program, we've followed a pretty standardized way of doing it, that we open content and discussions every 1 to 2 weeks. So you'll have a deadline every week or every other week for something that's due. Either it's a graded discussion, it's a paper that's due, or it's an online quiz or an online exam, but you never have to log in on a certain day and time to listen to a lecture, because everything's recorded and it's online for you to read or view, or there's audio files. So you do it at your own pace, but you are required to log in to a minimal amount. So that's part of all the grades, is about a 10% participation grade of logging in a certain amount of times, putting a certain amount of hours in the class, and opening up the content so that the professors know that you are engaged in the class, actively engaged.
We call it self-guided within parameters.
That's a good way to put it. Thanks for adding to that.
Is it also true for exams that you're able to do them on your own time?
Yes, usually we open like quizzes. There's a period of time, maybe 5 days or 7 days. There's a start and an end to a quiz, and you'll know that from the syllabus on the first day of the class. So you take it when you're ready to take it, but you have to take it before it closes.
And we have never offered any exams or quizzes that were proctored here on campus. Everything has been entirely online for this program. Now, we are looking forward to welcoming some new faculty members, and they're certainly going to have latitude to design some of their own course features according to their past experiences. But we plan to continue to follow a pretty consistent approach to the program, because we found that that's very helpful and appreciated by our students to know that generally we're doing things according to a familiar structure for them.
Great, thank you. So just switching gears here, I know, we've talked a lot about gerontology and it's important. That's why you're attending this webinar or event. But I do also want to touch on HACC generically and what do we have to offer you as a student. One of the areas I'd like to highlight are some of our different resources. So online students, they're welcome to use any of our resources on campus, but we do have plenty of resources available online as well. So I'll be touching on some of the different resources. Please know these are not all of our resources, but one area I like to mention to students, I get a lot of questions about it, is tutoring. And we do have tutoring available on campus as well as online through Smart Thinking. The online tutoring is available 24/7, and the Tutoring Center also offers workshops on campus and also online to assist students with success. So time management skills, tips for reading a textbook, and there's many other workshops that are offered. Other resources, we actually have many of them in attendance on the webinar, are our counselors and advisors. They are there to support you and help you register for classes and meet whatever your goals are for your career and life. So they're really there to support you. Career services is another great area here at HACC. Career services, they can help you write a resume, practice interviewing skills, and assist with making connections so you can potentially land a job or an internship. At HACC, we do also have Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society and sports teams. We have basketball, cross country, golf, soccer, and volleyball, as well as some intramurals and a phys ed center. At HACC, we're also very veteran military friendly, so we do have many services available to those of you who are veterans or military. In fact, HACC is the second highest institution with veteran attendance in Pennsylvania. So we're thrilled, if that is your background or current situation, to work with you. Also, clubs is another great resource to look into as a student. Many different clubs. Just to give you an example of some of the different clubs that we do offer, we have a virtual learning student advisory council, a student government association, we have the Fourth Estate newspaper, an international awareness club, so tons of different clubs, and you can find what suits your interest. Students also have the opportunity to study abroad. Right now at HACC, we have students that are in Costa Rica, England, Hawaii, and Zambia studying and taking credits over there. At HACC, we do have a bookstore on all of our campuses, as well as online resources. And just a few more that I will mention. For online students, our students log into a learning management system online called Brightspace by Desire to Learn. So that's where you access your coursework and all the work that you would need for your class. That's where you would do so. Within Desire to Learn, or Brightspace by Desire to Learn, is a student resource center and lounge. So it's designed for students to come there, ask their questions, say any comments, just feel comfortable, feel like you have a community, a virtual community to turn to. One other very important resource that I want to leave you with this resource is actually present in the room with me today, and it's an individual named Deb Redman. She's our student success coach. So she works specifically with students pursuing the gerontology program and works alongside of you to make sure that you're being successful and you're being supported. So Deb, thanks for being here today and supporting our students. Please turn to her as a resource, as she's certainly one that you'll want to utilize. So just know there's many other resources that are available, but I hope that gave you a taste for some of the resources that are available, and it's up to you to use them. So if you're hoping to pursue HACC, I'd like to run through the admission steps so you know what to do next. And then we'll take any questions at the end as well. So just so you know what the next steps would be, the first step is to complete an application, and students do that online at hacc.edu. It's free to do an application. Also, I encourage you to complete the FAFSA, which is a free application for federal student aid. That can be done so at fafsa.gov. So if you're looking to get any type of financial aid, please make sure you do fill that out. Now, typically after students fill out an application, they will receive their HACC ID and their HAWC mail information in the mail 5 to 10 business days or so after applying. So if you happen to need that information sooner, I do encourage you to reach out to our Welcome Center at 1-800-ABC-HACC. But to schedule placement testing, which is the next step, you will need your HACC ID number. With placement testing, this tests students in the areas of math, reading, and writing, and it's really to determine what would be the best class for you to begin your studies at here at HACC. It's an untimed test, but it usually takes our students about 2 or 2.5 hours to go through that. Now, there are some exceptions to placement testing, just so you are familiar with them. If you have any questions about the exceptions, you can email me. My contact information will be listed at the end. But if you do score 480 or higher, or 18 or higher on, or 480 or higher on the SAT reading portion, or 18 or higher on the ACT reading portion, you can be exempt from the reading portion of the placement testing. Also, if you have already completed college level English or college level math, you may be exempt from portions of the placement test as well. So just be aware of that. Some students want to take the placement test anyway, even if they are technically exempt. So placement testing can take place on campus, or there is the opportunity to take it online. And it looks like Claire just asked a question if placement tests are, I'm not sure what you mean by test scores, if you mean that SAT scores would be fine. If the placement test scores are 30 years old, they do need to be at least 3 years old, the placement test scores. So after placement testing, our students go through new student orientation, and that can occur on campus. We encourage you to do it on campus so you can learn about the different resources, policies in order to help you be a successful student. At the new student orientation is where you also meet with an advisor or counselor to actually register for classes. I pointed out Deb Redman as a resource before, and Deb is an individual that can help you register for classes. I'd encourage you to reach out to her once you're at that point. I know oftentimes she's even willing to come to the campus if she's free that day at the campus that you would be attending the new student orientation. So we do encourage you to attend new student orientation online. We do understand some students are attending or planning to attend from afar, so there is the opportunity to take the new student orientation online if needs be, but we really encourage the on-campus attendance. So after registering for classes, students pay tuition. So for the 2015-2016 school year, at HACC, it's $200.50 per credit for students in one of HACC's 22 sponsored school districts. In the chat bar here, I'll put up a link where you can go and see the different 22 sponsored school districts that HACC has. That way, if you have any questions, you can go refer to it right there on our webpage. And the tuition, if you reside in Pennsylvania, but not in one of the 22 sponsored school districts, is $250 per credit. And then for individuals outside of Pennsylvania, it's $298 per credit. So affordable yet quality education is really what we're about here at HACC. So if you're interested in going through the admission steps that I just referred to, I'd invite you to a one-stop enrollment event day. It's coming up on July 8th from 1 to 7 p.m. That will be held at any one of our HACC campus locations. And I do encourage you to arrive early if you're anticipating to complete all of those admission steps. In addition to completing the admission steps, students who attend the one-stop enrollment day will also be entered into a $1,000 tuition giveaway drawing. So I encourage you to attend the one-stop enrollment day if you're able to. So you've been given a lot of information about gerontology and HACC. It's my hope that you found this event to be helpful to you and perhaps even shape some of your goals for your career path. So at this point, I would like to open it up for any questions that you may have. Feel free to type it there in the chat box, and if you're here in the room, feel free to just speak it out. But it does look like there was a question that came in from Jennifer, and she was wondering if you have a recommendation for transfer schools for gerontology at the bachelor's level. So just to clarify, here at HACC, we offer certificates, diplomas, and associate degrees, and individuals oftentimes will do 2 years here at HACC, 2 years at a four-year institution in order to get their bachelor's degree. But Kathy or Anna Marie, do either of you have a recommendation for Jennifer for transfer school?
We have done the research, and we know that the following schools have bachelors in gerontology: Towson University, University of Maryland, and Ashford University. We did have one gerontology student at HACC transfer to the University of Maryland, and I believe she found most of the classes online. We also know that the following institutions have minors in gerontology: Millersville University, Shippensburg University, and Penn State. And we often have students from those institutions who are minoring in gerontology take our gerontology classes at HACC because they do transfer into the minor, because these universities know about our program and they have seen the syllabus and they've transferred many of our 3-credit classes. And there are almost 100 universities that offer a master's degree in gerontology, and 28 of those 100 are master's degrees online in gerontology. So there really is a future if you would like to start with HACC with the diploma, certificate, and associates and move on to a bachelor's degree.
A lot of our students also transfer what they've done in gerontology at our school into other types of 4-year degrees, such as social work, human services, and therapeutic recreation would be another one, and healthcare management is one that's seeing growing popularity, and it's a great combination with gerontology.
Great question. Any other questions that we may have? Feel free to type it there in the chat box. We do have our contact information listed on this slide as well. So if you don't have any questions right now and you think of it down the road, we're here to help you. You're welcome to reach out to us.
I had a question about the service learning course. Do you assist students in finding a placement? Are students on their own to find a place where they can volunteer? And are there clearances and vaccinations involved?
That's a good question. It was about the Gerontology 104 service learning class, and that's the class that's 14 weeks for one semester, and you volunteer for 20 hours. The students typically find their own healthcare settings to volunteer because our students are from all over Pennsylvania and even sometimes outside of Pennsylvania. We often get referrals that we'll post in the class, like if a local nursing home or retirement home is looking for a hospice or somebody, we would put that online, but it's really up to the student to find it. We do send a letter out prior to the class beginning that before class starts, you should have an idea of where you would want to volunteer, so the students have a heads up. And then you have a 2-week window once the class starts to set that up. The clearances are up to the particular facility, but I have found that many facilities do require volunteers to have clearances. And so that is usually like the criminal background check, and they even will make you take like the PPD test and some medical clearances as well. Not all of them do, but most of them do. And we've had a couple occasions where a student may have a problem with clearing maybe a criminal background check. And I've had just one student, maybe in the past 5 years that couldn't complete the class. So it's really up to the student to find the facility.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Patricia had a question and was wondering if the PowerPoint will be made available to attendees later. And yes, actually, this event is being recorded. If you registered for the event and provided your email address, the recording will be provided to you. If you did not provide your email address, or if you did not register, you're welcome to email me at ejfox@hacc.edu, and I'll be sure to provide you with the recording. And Tim, great point that the Career Services Office can help students identify volunteer sites. Thank you. While you're thinking of any last questions you may have, we do like to have feedback regarding our event. We want to give you the information that you're looking for. So we do have a survey, a link for individuals who are attending online, and we do have paper handouts of the survey here for the individuals that are in attendance. We would love if you would take the time to fill out the survey and provide us with any feedback so that we can make this event better if we should hold it again. But feel free to continue to type any questions. We will stick around here for any last questions that you may have, but thank you for attending the event.
Emily, I have a question. Can they print the PowerPoint from this recording?
No. Okay. She's shaking her head
No.
To maybe just screenshot what you want, or
if you would like the PowerPoint sent to you specifically, you're welcome to reach out to me, but you'll see the PowerPoint screens throughout the recording sent to you in that link. But if you are wanting the PowerPoint sent to you specifically, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, you'll receive the recording link.
Kathy and I see that there are a lot of prospective and current students who logged on today, and we would like to say thank you to all of those who have shown an interest in the program and who have been participating up to this point. The strength of the program is based so much on the interaction of the students and the involvement of the students, and we've had a wonderful student population with whom we've really enjoyed working. We continue to look forward to the opportunities coming and to be appreciative to HACC for continuing to invest in this field that, as Crystal so eloquently described to us, really needs good people, and will continue to have opportunities for years and years to come.
All right,
I think
so thanks
somebody
for
has a
attending. Oh, was there
question.
another question?
Did somebody raise their hand?
Matt, it looks like you raised your hand. If you do have a question, feel free to type it there in the chat box, since only the individuals here in the room actually have microphone access. So feel free to type it in the chat box there, or contact us directly with our email information provided there on the screen. If there are no more questions, thank you so much for attending the Gerontology Program Day. You're welcome to leave the webinar or room at any point. By leaving the webinar room, just click the red X in the top corner. And thanks again for attending. We will stick around for anybody who does have additional questions, but feel free to leave if you did receive the information that you need, and hope you have a great day.